Good afternoon, Hattiesburg. Thanks for joining us for this COVID-19 and city news briefing for Friday, October 30th. Today's numbers, these are system-wide numbers for our healthcare systems at Forest General, Merritt Health Wesley, Samurai, Hattiesburg Clinic, and the Moffitt Health Center. As of this morning, 76,660 total tests have been conducted, with 8,323 of those coming back positive. 68,070 are negative. We have 267 tests currently pending. In the hospital today, between Merritt Health Wesley and Forest General, there are 48 people who are positive with COVID, with another one under investigation. And of those 48, we have 21 who are in the ICU. These are the most acute patients right now. As you can see, we had the big spike last Wednesday where we kind of went up 20 cases in the hospital in about 4 days. Then it kind of came down, but now we're back up around that high 40s. We actually hit 50 yesterday, but it came back down to 48 today. ICU admissions, though, back over 20 for the first time in quite a while, since about the mid part of August. Statewide today, we had 745 new cases reported with 18 new deaths. Unfortunately, one of those deaths were reported in Forest County, bringing totals to 79 in Forest County, Lamar County still at 40. We send our well wishes to that family. New positive cases today, 7 in Forest County, 19 in Lamar County. To date now, the metro area hit 5,500. That's Forest and Lamar counties combined since this began in March. Our 5-day average, where we take the number of new positive cases on a given day and we average it with the 2 days prior and the 2 days after. Forest and Lamar County have kind of gone back and forth trading places. Right now, they're both around 20 new cases per day. The inside 14-day number is the number of cases that have been reported back in the last 2 weeks. It gives you an idea of how many active cases you could have in your community. So in Forest County, that number is at 235. In Lamar County, that number is down to 259. As you can see, we've kind of gone back and forth. Forest County has dropped and sort of stayed low. We're hoping that those combined cases will go down even further, but it's good to see that even in the midst of cold weather so far, we've kind of been able to hold it steady for the last week to 10 days. Just comparing to where we are today to a week ago, 234 a week ago in Forest County, we're up 1 to 235. Lamar County down almost 20. So metro area total at 494 in terms of the inside 14-day active cases. Hospitalizations down a little bit from last Friday, down to 48. ICU admissions, however, this is the concerning thing, up to 21. And in terms of where those counties come from, the bulk of those are still in Lamar County. However, there are several there are 3 or 4 in Forest County, 3 or 4 in Jeff Davis County, and there's kind of a scattering of other counties in there as well, which kind of goes along with our trend. When you start seeing a cluster of new positive cases, eventually someone vulnerable is going to get that, and then they're going to end up in the hospital. And a couple weeks later, you're going to see a rise in ICU cases, and so really kind of a reminder of why we need to be careful as we go forward. Because when we go back to our goals, we want to protect the vulnerable, people who are over the age of 60, people with underlying or chronic health conditions, because if they get this, they're the population that's most at risk of having an adverse reaction and ending up in the hospital or worse. If we can protect the vulnerable, we're likely to prevent overrun of the healthcare system, and especially at a time when you're going to start seeing more hospitalizations for things other than COVID. And finally, if we can do those two things, we can keep the private sector humming along, and while we still prioritize public health. The good news this week for us to kind of walk away with is the metro area's inside 14-day number is under 500 for the first time since October 4th. Now, we wish it was half of that, but when we started seeing an increase and a spike in the first part of October, we're grateful it didn't get to the 700-800 mark that we saw in July. We kind of were able to sort of flatten that curve, and a lot of that has to do with people inside the city continuing to wear their mask and students kind of being more responsible, and so we kind of saw a decrease at Moffitt Health Center. But we want to see this 500 number continue to go down. We need to see that about half that total, or even less, or even fewer than that, because when you start seeing a lot of new cases, you want to see more hospitalizations and ICU admissions. All right, so several bits of city news today. Paving crews earlier this week finished the first round of paving for the fall in Palmer's Crossing. This is the McKenna Springs Clementine corridor. which runs from Old Airport Road up to Brady Road. And so a lot of those in-between roads like First, Cactus, Davidson, Laura, Benton, those are taken care of. There will be a second round in the Palmer's Crossing area later this fall. We also reported earlier this week that for the third month in a row, we've had record sales tax collections. And this is a great credit to our small business retailers who have evolved and who have adapted so well during this COVID pandemic. And so we've had the best August, September, and October that we've ever had, which bodes well for us going into the holidays. And we just encourage you, keep Hattiesburg safe to shop in, but most importantly, be kind to retail workers and food service employees, especially as we go into a very busy time. I want to go over a lot for Halloween. So we obviously encourage you to do what's best for your family. We have set sort of some hours, 4:30 to 7 as suggested trick-or-treating times. Of course, this weekend is also the time change, but we encourage you, again, if you're going to trick-or-treat, stay home if you're sick. There's no reason to get out and put people at risk. Wear a mask that covers both your nose and your mouth. Be aware of kind of how you're spaced apart from other trick-or-treaters if you can as you go around. And then try and keep your crowd sizes small and stick with family, and obviously wash your hands often. If you are a homeowner and you are doing trick-or-treating, please don't hand out candy if you are sick. Wear a mask over your nose and mouth. Try and find creative ways to distribute candy, whether it's through the little PVC pipe that some people have suggested, or whether it's through pre-wrapped bags. And remember to wash your hands as well. But most importantly to everyone, whether you're trick-or-treating or whether you're a homeowner, just be kind, because Halloween's going to look a little bit different this year, and that needs to be okay. If you're looking for your own Halloween adventure, I know a lot of parties and things are not the same this year. We have posted this sort of bingo type setup at our Facebook page for the City of Hattiesburg. It's something that you and your family can do around our community, from the Pocket Museum or to finding specific decorations around town. Just something fun that you can do as you have to kind of craft and be creative with your own adventure this Halloween. Most importantly, we want you to be safe. We know there's going to be more socialization this weekend, and so whether it's a Halloween gathering, whether it's a Southern Miss game, whether it's trick-or-treating, please do your part to try and reduce the risk of transmission in our community. And finally, our act of courage. On Sunday, the Hattiesburg community lost one of its best and brightest symbols of hope and joy with the passing of Ryan Henley. Ryan could often be seen at Southern Miss games, at St. Thomas, and then later at St. Fabian's when Father Tommy moved there, at the ARC, or really at any community gathering where there was fun to be had. And I know he was a big supporter of the Hattiesburg Police Department. Ryan lived, and I mean truly lived. Regardless of where I saw him, he always had a smile on his face, and he did not allow the perceived physical limitations hold him back from having an impact on his community and on his world. And in fact, I would venture to say that he had more of an impact than most of us have combined. Today he was laid to rest, and we know that he is now completely healed and free and happy. But this week has been tough for the Henley family and his extended family at the ARC, at St. Fabian's, and Coca-Cola, and for all who knew and loved him. And so as we go into the weekend, we send our love and condolences and best wishes to his incredible parents, Russ and Jean, his brothers, his nieces, and all of his extended family and friends. We miss you, Ryan. And finally, as we go into the weekend, remember, as we deal with this pandemic, remember to wash your hands, take care of yourself mentally and physically, wear a mask if you go out in public, do only what is essential, and remember, you are safer at home. Have a great weekend.